everyone, it is the Captain. Welcome back to the channel. A big thank you, of course, to each and every one of you that like and subscribe to these videos and you share them around the world with all of your buddies, all of your pals, and all of your mates. As the voice of the voiceless, I take it very serious when people request videos, because if you request them, I deliver them, and that's what makes me a pretty damn good captain. So this particular video has been requested a few times because people want to hear my unique take on it, despite the fact that they've all seen the video before. I've never actually watched this video in its entirety, so you're going to learn the same time that I do what's taken place. Big thank you to our Nevada judges for sharing the video so we can all enjoy in the glory. And this is what's happening in the video. Chille, the silly Billy stupid face, is trying to appeal his 6-month sentence because apparently being in jail is hard and not very wizard, so he wants out. Mate, you're in the boneyard because you're a dog. We call it a boneyard in prison slang here in Australia because that's where the dogs hang out, and dogs, well, they're the snitch, and I reckon Chille's the biggest snitch of them all. He would probably dob in anyone because he doesn't know how to keep his penis flytrap shut. Oh, did you know that they're bringing in drugs into the system? Yeah, you should probably focus on that and not, me being on YouTube whilst I'm incarcerated. Yeah, that should be that should be where all your attention should be focused. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Worry about those drug people that are smuggling drugs and stuff in. I think it's Jerry, Terry and Tom. All of them are bringing drugs in. Just tell them I sent you. Yeah, good work, Chille, you idiot. All right, let's have a look. Let's see how this all works out for him. So let's hold hands and enjoy this together.
Zimmerman presiding. Please be seated. Come to order.
All right, Jose DeCastro, 23CR013015.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Chris Storm on behalf of Mr. DeCastro. He's present.
Nice to see you, Chris. Good morning.
Good morning, Agnes Hotel from the State Farm number 11064.
All right, this is your motion.
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, I've had a chance to watch the video of the trial. I watched Mr. DeCastro come into the courtroom in an extraordinarily disrespectful fashion and refer to the marshal in the most inappropriate way. I then saw some other things that I consider very poor courtroom antics. And Mr. DeCastro was convicted. He is given 6 months in jail.
Yep, he was. Good talk, everyone. Hit the showers. We're done here. Oh, if only if it was that simple. But we know that Mr. My Arsehole is now the jailhouse sperm oven just wants to waste the court's time with his appeal. Look at him, doing his best to look sad. The only sad thing here, mate, is that inbred looking beard on this jailhouse Joe dirt. Right, you want to know what real tears are? Do you want to know what real tears are? Just think about when Artax drowned in the swamp of sadness in the film The Never-Ending Story. Just think about that horse getting swallowed in the swamp of sadness and the tears just start to flow. Oh, I don't think I'm going to continue. See, that's how it's done, bloody Mr. DeCastrated, right? You haven't got a fucking heart, do you? No, you don't, because you're the Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Men of Wizard of Oz all rolled into one giant retard.
One thing I know he's going to do today is, for no other purpose, no matter what your ruling is, he wants to say sorry. I've asked him if he'd say sorry to the court. I understand that you may see it as that he should have apologized to the marshal. I don't see the marshal in here that he did this with. One thing I would note for the court is that the issues that I saw seem to be significant constitutional issues. The court addressed it, but what I did notice is that this should have been really briefed beforehand on First Amendment issues so the court could have had that. That's no fault of, I think it just should have been done beforehand. I also noticed that at time of sentencing, the state asked for a suspended sentence, but Mr. Castro just pushed it, and I see reasonably agitated and irritated the court into causing a sentence that is now 6 months.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Four eyes, no friends. Do you, someone who I guess got a law degree from Arizona Summit Law School and is currently practicing law, poorly I admit, but you're technically on the books, so that means you own at least one law book, truly believe that, one, Chille DeStinko got sentenced for 6 months because he was exercising his First Amendment right. Right? Were you even in court the day that, he got sentenced or what, right? He was found guilty for obstruction and resisting, not filming the police, you space laser commander. And two, do you really think a respected judge of 24 years sent your client to jail for 6 months because he had hurt her feelings? Like, this is your defense. This is why you think you should appeal, right? Do you really strongly believe that the judge got her bloody feelings hurt and that's why your fuckhead of a client was sent to jail? No, that's not what happened at all, right? He was sent to jail for bloody obstructing and resisting. He could have got 6 months for each of those charges, but instead, in going to jail for a full year, he got 6 months, right? Stop drinking DeCastro's Kool-Aid, for God's sake.
This man, from what I can tell, Your Honor, has no prior felony convictions whatsoever. I'm doing that upon information and belief. I haven't run the scope. I know the state could do that, but I don't see that he has any felony convictions. He's made his appearances, and I think the time in jail has been shocking to him. I know it has because I can tell the reaction of the calls every day and how difficult it is for him. I think he pushed this and is learning a very, very difficult lesson in life. I would ask the court to consider, based upon his ties to the community, with sister here, nephew, he has a whole bunch of people who wanted to come to court, which I suggested may be a very, if they're going to come here, be respectful and mindful of what's already occurred in this court. But what I asked the court to do, given his lack of any serious criminal history, his remorse for his behavior in this courtroom during that trial, and the fact that the state at the time did not want jail time, is I'd ask for an appeal bond, Your Honor, so that the issue can be, these issues can be properly raised. And so with that, Your Honor, I asked for an OR. I would just say a reasonable bail. I would suggest that since he came to the trial, since he already has gotten a taste of what inappropriate behavior in a courtroom looks like and feels like, I would ask for a bail in the amount of $10,000 or $20,000, appeal bond in the amount of $10,000 or $20,000. With that, Your Honor, I submit.
What in the actual fuck are you on about? Jail has been hard on him, so we should just kind of let him out. Oh, poor baby. Mate, jail isn't meant to be a summer camp, right? There's no Princess Pat or boom chicka boom right here, right now. It's just not happening. Are you fucking high, mate? Right? He currently has 2 active warrants out of Ohio, and he also has a lengthy criminal record for doing this exact thing across America. Could you imagine in 1979 a lawyer standing up going, my client Ted Bundy is, jail's been a bit tough on him, and look, Your Honor did sentence him to death, and you got your feelings hurt, and I can understand that, and that's why he's been sentenced to death. You didn't like him in his snappy suits and all that sort of stuff. I get it, no problem, but, a death sentence, and, I just don't think that's right. Look, he has strong ties to the community, because that's where most of his victims are buried, and he did tell me that there were 3 other women that he hasn't quite murdered yet, so I feel maybe $30 fine, and, we'll just let him out of prison, because, well, prison doesn't suit his lifestyle. Oh, fucking hell, you can of spastic soda, sit down and let my new girlfriend tell her side of the story. I'll show you what a real lawyer fucking sounds like.
Hey.
Your Honor, may I respond orally? Typically, pursuant to the Nevada rules of criminal practice, the state has 10 days to file an opposition, but this was placed on calendar very quickly, so I would ask for leave of the court to answer orally.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm in receipt of Mr. Orum's motion for bail or the alternative for his own recognizance release. I would note that NRS 178.488 does make it discretionary upon this court whether he would allow bail pending appeal. Mr. DeCastro, there has been a briefing schedule set before Judge Levitt in district court on the appeal, but it's not set to be heard until July. It's discretionary, Your Honor, as with a lot of the bail settings in Nevada, it's discretionary. And the state would oppose this court setting a bail at this point.
Fuck yes, sweetheart. You tell 'em, Agnes, right? Never fuck with a woman that has awesome eyelashes, and her eyelashes are the best in the fucking industry, so sit your nerdy ass down. All she really needed to do was step up and say, no new evidence, guilty and sentenced. And then mic drop that shit, and then it's down to the pub for a burger and bourbon, and then home for some well-deserved sex with any partner or partners she chooses. And I personally would like to throw my hat in the ring for that, if that's okay.
There seems to be this assumption that this court sentenced Mr. DeCastro to 6 months in the Clark County Detention Center just because of his conduct or his inappropriate conduct in court. I would venture to say that Your Honor presided over the trial where you found guilt beyond a reasonable doubt for both the obstructing a police officer and resisting a police officer. You saw his conduct in the body-worn camera by the officer, and I would venture to say, and I would submit to the court, that the 6-month sentence that you imposed isn't simply for his behavior in court or his behavior to your marshals, but that it is an appropriate sentence placed upon the defendant by the court due to the charges and the evidence that you saw during trial. There's also been this claim that Mr. DeCastro has stayed trouble-free for most of his life. I would venture to say, yes, he does not have felony convictions, he does not have gross misdemeanor convictions, but he does have pretty consistent contact with law enforcement. He does have a warrant out of Ohio for a trespass, and I understand that's a piddly misdemeanor, however, it is a warrant status. And he has a pending case in Las Vegas Justice Court for the very same offenses that the court heard during the trial here.
Oh! Preach it, sister! Bringing up his history of being a dumb cunt. Oh, all these other pending cases in Ohio and Nevada. Oh, mate, you are fucked. Right, she even brought up the fact that he was sentenced for his crimes. That's how it works. He did a crime, he got sentenced. Not because the judge, had some sadness over him walking into the court like King Dingaling and treating her marshals like a club-thumping troglodyte. Listen, baby Bambi butt banger, you were found guilty and you were sentenced. So fuck off. Head back to that paddywhacker factory and have the guards put some bloody powder on your nappy rash if you have to.
As to the claim that, hey, there were issues before trial and there should have been First Amendment issues raised or briefed prior to, Your Honor, defense counsel was able to argue the First Amendment defense. Your Honor heard these arguments both during the trial and during closing arguments. Mr. DeCastro, when he took the stand, raised them as a defense, but Your Honor held, after listening to all of the evidence and applying the law, Your Honor held or found him guilty regardless. This was not a First Amendment issue. The state stands by that. This was simply the defendant breaking the law. And he was sentenced accordingly for his behavior. It was a conduct, it was a consequence, an appropriate sentence imposed by the court to the defendant. And so we would oppose any kind of change or any kind of bail setting or an OR at this point. This is not a pre-trial detention. This is not a pre-trial, as Valdez-Jimenez was cited also in defense counsel's motion. Valdez-Jimenez stands for pre-trial detention. Mr. DeCastro is no longer cloaked with the presumption of innocence. He has been found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt by Your Honor. And so at this point, I would ask that the 6-month sentence that you imposed stand and that he remain in custody.
Woo! Damn straight! To summarise, Your Honour, Silly Billy Chille Face is more of a waste than dancing for dollars in a strip club just so you can buy a stick of gum. He broke the law and he got done like a $2 hooker in winter. All because the other inmates use his asshole like an ashtray and put more balls in his mouth than the state lottery doesn't mean that he should be let out. Actually, speaking about sex in the winter, Elizabeth Banks loves to curl up in front of an open fire in my log cabin that I have buried deep in the Alaskan woods. Right, we go up there from time to time, we cook some s'mores, and then, well, we fuck like we are the sole survivors of a nuclear winter.
Mayor, I'd like to read.
Yes, and I ask the interpreter to quit reading. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor. There's an interpreter over there. Yeah, Merrick speaking. Oh.
No, I'm talking about the
Oh, I'm
English
sorry.
interpreter. Yes, go ahead.
Your Honor, the statute we cited is, in fact, just discretionary to you to determine on appeal, pending appeal, whether a appeal bond can be issued. I hear the state. I recognize that you found him guilty. I'm not trying to in any way argue that. On appeal, there are legitimate issues. The court can see that, you know, there are some First Amendment issues just from watching the video, things that a court could consider on appeal. And so that's the only basis I'm bringing that up on. But given the fact that I think he really is contrite for what he's done.
I disagree. Have you watched the videos that have been posted since he's been incarcerated?
Oh shit! The judge has actually seen his videos where he's begging for money and how he wanted people to rock up to court today and how the jail is just a fucking dungeon and, you know, he's just a journalist that shouldn't be in jail. And then he goes on and bloody does his live streams and records for content for his channel, which, by the way, is a fucking no-no when you're in jail. Oh, the guards are mean, and the list just goes on and on and on. Chille, maybe you should have taken your trifold with you. You could have shown everybody how fucking right and great that you are. He strongly believes that he didn't do anything wrong and he's in torture cuffs for filming police. Right, go and listen to his jail calls. This bloke thinks he's the Al Capone of his jail. Mate, you're the fucking Gary Busey of crazy people, right? Any dumber, the jail would have to get a special permit to keep a caged fault in the human evolution in their jail. Scientists would have to study you to figure out the bloody pattern of the fuckwit DNA strain.
I'm in a murder trial.
Okay, so.
So I had a chance.
So he's gonna apologize to me in a minute, but that's not what he's saying on what he's publishing online in his phone calls from the jail. That's not what he's saying at all. And are you aware that he has a trial pending in Las Vegas Municipal Court? He has a case pending in Good Springs Justice Court where he continues to manufacture situations where he'll get arrested.
Your Honor, I recognize that's what he was sort of doing for a living, and this is, he's now being incarcerated.
Right. So what he's saying in the couple of weeks since he's been incarcerated, when he calls from the jail and publishes them on his website, is not what he's about to say to me. Okay? So he's going to apologize to me now, but that's not what he's doing publicly, okay?
Yes, Your Honor, I hear that. I won't have him speak at this time, but I would still ask you to consider that there may be legitimate issues. I think there are for Judge Levitt to consider, and I think these are sort of issues of first impression. That was the other thing I saw, is that in the state of Nevada, I can't find any case law that specifically talks about this filming of police officers. What I would say to the court is I recognize that it's obnoxious behavior. That's what it appears to be. Whether it's protected is another thing that I think higher courts need to look at. But I can see if the court has already made up the court's manual.
Well, I want to be clear. I did not have a problem with him filming, and I said that when I sentenced him. That was not the issue. It was the safety issues that he created with his behavior. And I also did not sentence him because of his ridiculous behavior in court. That wasn't why I sentenced him to jail. I sentenced him because I found him guilty beyond reasonable doubt, and I thought that was the appropriate sentence. I could have given him 180 days on each count and ran it consecutive for a year in jail, but I didn't. And his behavior was unacceptable in court, but that's not what I sentenced him for. I did not sentence him for his behavior in court. I sentenced him for his behavior for the 2 charges that he faced.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so your motion is denied. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fucking oath, Your Honour. Spot on. Well said. I have no notes. Oh, he truly is the shit stain in the underpants of life, isn't he? You belong behind bars, big fella. No one gives 10 fucks that your asshole has been ridden more times than a Six Flag roller coaster, or the fact that you've blown more pipe than Deepwater Horizon. Oh, mate, you did the crime, you do the time. In fact, a lot of people could say you fucked around and find out. And you found out yet again. Her Honour isn't here to give out hugs and blankets, she's there to enforce the law, and that is exactly what she's done today. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. Right, this is where if you act the fool, then it's jizz you'll drool. No diddy kitty, back to the fucking torture dungeon you go. Oh, I fucking love it. But that brings us to the end of another great video. I hope you've had a bit of fun. I hope you've had a bit of a laugh. And I hope you've taken your shirt off, got naked if you want, because now you can hit that like and subscribe button. And while you're down there fiddling with the buttons and all that sort of stuff, why don't you join the members as well, and you can be part of the awesome people that you see scrolling across the screen right now. These people are true fucking heroes. They are true heroes, and I love each and every one of them very, very much. Because once they've joined as a member, once they've hit the like button, once they've hit the subscribe button, and once they've taken their shirts off and got naked, now you can run down the street, you can go into the nearest, the auctions, the auctions where they sell houses and stuff. You can go to one of them, and then you can sit there going, oh, listen up here, ladies and gentlemen, listen up. Oh, we're going to listen over here, we're going to listen over here, we're going to listen over here. Okay, we've got a video here, we've got a video here, everybody, and we've got a video going once, video going twice, video going 3 times, and sold the video. Let's all get naked and take our shirts off. See, that's how fucking good it could be, and who knows, you might just get some money. But I better get going. I got to catch up with fucking Terry again. Oh, fucking Terry. I'll tell you what happened, right? The other day, down the road, there's an electrical shop, Mike's Electrics, we call it. And Mike sells, computers and printers and Xboxes and PlayStations and all that sort of stuff. And he got robbed. Someone fucking robbed him in the middle of the night. And I was talking to Terry about it. I said, did you hear about Mike's Electrics? And he goes, did I fucking hear about it? I was fucking there. I said, what? Wait, whoa, you were there? What happened? He goes, well, I was stumbling out of fucking O'Reilly's pub, and, Mike's Electrics is just across the street, and I'm fucking sitting there watching, and a car pulls up, and 2 elephants jump out of the car, throw a fucking rock through the window, and they steal a whole bunch of stuff, and then get back in the car. And I'm just looking at him, going, hang on, Terry. Fucking elephants. Elephants. The elephant. Fucking robbed Mike's Electrics. He goes, yep, fucking oath. I'm like, okay, look, I'm going to play this. All right then, Terry, what kind of elephants were they, I say? And he's like, well, they're fucking elephants. You see one elephant, you've seen them all. And I'm like, no, Terry, no, that's not true, because there are 2 different types of elephants, right? You have an African elephant that have really big ears, and then you have an Indian elephant that have relatively small ears. So, which one of the 2 was the elephant that fucking robbed the shop? And he goes, well, how the fuck would I know? They had a stocking on their head. Fucking hell, Terry. All right, here we go.